So Nathan, thanks again for doing this. As always, I'd like to dig into a little bit about some of the background and your upbringing. So why don't we start there? If you can help show us, what are some of the circumstances of your earliest years that went into shaping who you became as a, both a fighter, but in particular as a man?
Oh, so I started fighting around about 11 years old. I was just training at the local gym, K-Star, where Henry Clemenson, who now runs Crawford UK, was running. In all honesty, it just was part of my routine. I was going to the gym. I was going to school, going to the gym. It was on the way home. So I'd stop up at the gym and then just go home straight after. It was part of a routine, and it was just something that I did. I didn't really inspire to fight. I didn't think I'm joining the gym because I want to be a fighter. It was just somewhere to, spend some energy and just give me something to do after school, I guess. Then I started getting quite good at it quite quickly. Had a few fights, and then it was again every time there was a show, do you want to fight? And I was like, yeah. It was part of a routine. Train hard, and I was winning, so I was obviously quite good at it. And the results it was quite nice. I quite enjoyed it, like winning things, and finding something that I could actually do quite well at. So I started, and then at 16, I started fighting C class. Had a couple of C class, then I fought B class against Pindi Madahar. He runs TMA, I think it's called, in Warsaw now. But the fight was chaos. It was a Talbroom, one of the K-Star shows. It was electric. I was 16 years old and the place erupted. It was mental. I thought, wow. This is for me. This is. And after the fight, there was like, he probably sold about 300 tickets. Loads of people were there for him. I sold like 100 because I've been fighting a lot now, and all the gym come, and we had quite a lot of pals at that age that were interested in fighting and stuff. So it was an amazing atmosphere. But after the fight, everyone was talking about it like for weeks. It was on that Axe forum, kickboxing, and everyone was saying how good it was and how we're going to be good when we go through the ranks and have a load more experience and blah blah blah. It wasn't like I was going to be a world level fighter, but I just liked that bit of recognition and that bit of I'm actually going to be like very good at this. So then I started taking it a bit more seriously. But like I fought at 70 kilos. I fought Pindi at 70. And then I thought maybe I'll come down a weight because I was young and I wasn't in great shape. I wasn't an athlete at all. So I had a couple at 66, 67. And then I found the weight at 63 and a half and fought at 63 and a half. But again, I was 16, 17, 18. It wasn't, you think you're invincible. You think you can go and do whatever you want. And, it's all good. So I was out of shape. I hit like 20, 21. I started fighting for titles, British titles, area titles, whatever. And then I was winning, but I wasn't in shape. I would come out of camp. Within a couple of weeks, I was 75 kilos, 77, 80 kilo. I've been out of shape, and I'm fighting at 63 and a half. And I did that for about 5 years. It was a hard slog. And then I had a few boxing fights. I thought, I'm not going to be cutting all this weight to earn tuppence. I bought a house. I've had children. I'm married. I thought I need to earn some real dough. So I got offered to have a few boxing fights, which I was paying like 3 times as much that the Muay Thai was paying. Did that. Didn't really enjoy it. I was fighting at 70 kilo again because it was it was either the same day weigh-in or it was like short notice. It wasn't something that I put my heart and soul into. It was just the opportunity to make money and also the opportunity to have a fight, which is what I'm good at and what I enjoy. Did that. I thought I'm not actually getting any fulfillment out of this. So what do I want to do? Do I want to be happy and actually, put a stamp on my name and be a good martial artist and be remembered? Or do I want to earn like $2,000 a fight or £1,500 a fight or whatever it is, which isn't a lot of money. But when you fight that low level of boxing and it's on the same day, the ring, do you want to fight? You can earn $1,500. It's quite enticing. So I was speaking to Wayne Kirk, who runs Fourth Dimension, and he said, like, you've got to go back to the Thai boxing and you've got to give it your heart and soul. And now there's opportunities of one championship where good money, good recognition, you're going to get on a global platform and a big stage. Muay Thai Grand Prix as well, they're putting shows out all over the world. Super Showdown, Yokkao, all them sort of shows. People are watching them. People will know your name if you're fighting and competing and being good. Even if I lose a fight, any fight that I've lost, no one's ever said, "Oh, it weren't a great fight." They're like, "That was nuts. That was brilliant. Great fight. Unlucky on the result, but we like to watch you fight." And I will be a household name, and that is my goal. So I started taking the Thai, full force. I got a strength and conditioning coach. I got a nutritionist, Peter Miller. I got,
How many years ago is this now?
So this was 3 years ago now.
3 years ago now, yeah.
Sorry, 2 years ago. 2 years ago it was.
Yeah.
It was just on the back end of COVID. COVID had finished. I'd had a few boxing fights in COVID, luckily, because there were still shows going on, which were, there was no one in the room. It was very airy. It was very weird. It was like a glorified spa, but they were still allowed to run the shows because due to no crowd and quarantine and all that sort of stuff. So luckily I got fights there. But when I come back to the Thai, it was, let's take it seriously. I've had 2 years now where I've just done everything by the book. I've been organised. I've put training camps, pen to paper, just making sure I know what day is happening, what my nutrition's on point. I don't go above 72 kilos now after a fight, and that's eating good. So it's a lot easier to make the weight. I'm happier. I'm performing well. I've won titles. I've got the WBC World. It's all coming. It's all coming now. So now it's my time.
So, how much pressure does it, put on the family every time you go into a camp? You mentioned the food and your 3 meals a day, and I'm sure that plays a toll. How does the missus take it and the kids?
So my missus jokes. She said she's going to start a support unit for fighters' wives because she feels it is a shame because my eldest is 5 and my youngest is 18 months. So these are precious times. They're not going to be babies forever, And I'm in fight camp back to back. I've had 5 fights since last August. 5 fights since last August, and then I've obviously got the 12th of November. So it's quite active, yeah. And I went to Thailand for a month by myself without any family, without the girls. My wife, she finds it difficult, but she knows the bigger picture. She knows that it's part of what I do. When I met her, I was doing Thai boxing, and then I did the boxing. So I did Thai boxing. I got to European level, and then I did the boxing just to, to get the money in or whatever, to make a better lifestyle. And then I went to the Thai and she was like, she will support me if I give it 110%. I think it is very hard. I've had past relationships and friendships where they've been cut off because of dedication to the gym or to the sport. And, you can't give these people that time that they need. So yeah, she does do She does a lot. She takes a lot. She's a special kind of woman because not everyone can do it. You know, it is hard slog for her. It's not only not being able to go out for meals or spend family time, but also, you know, I'm at home watching fights 24/7. YouTube is like my go-to. I'm watching all the ships, all the tutorials, all the seminars that go up. Cyan Boxing puts up loads of stuff. I'm watching all that. It's like, can we just sit down and watch a rom-com? And I'm like, wow, we could, but not with me, darling. I've got to study this, or I want to see how this fighter does that so I can try and have a go at that, or I need to do this and that. You know, it's like I'm always learning, and I'm dedicated to the sport. I think she's going to be happy when we start fighting.
Yeah. So, you know, how would you say your style is? You know, how do you differentiate yourself from other fighters? You know, what is it? What is unique to you?
Well, people would say, like, people have said, like, Nathan's strong, he's a banger, he's tough, which I am. I'm tough, I'm strong, I lift heavy weights, I punch people very hard, I kick hard things. You know, like, I am tough, but I don't think people give me the credit for my IQ and intelligence. You know, like, it's if you're beating me, and I would know how you are beating me. If I can stop it or not is a different story than not, depending on, you know, where, you know, how the fight's going or whatever. But if you're beating me, I will know how you are beating me and how to overcome it. I would like to sound very versatile. I'm not just one style. I can kick well, I can punch well, I can clinch well. I'm a hard knight. You know, like, you get some fighters that are like, oh yeah, they're really good kickers, but, you know, his body's weak, or he gasses, or like he doesn't like clinching or whatever. I'm amazing at particularly one area, but I'm very good at everything. I'm a hard knight for anyone. You know, I can hit hard and I'm tough. Who needs me? You don't want to be in a 5-round war with me. You just don't want to. Yeah,
and I heard you know, Vinny Shawman, you know, who's been commentating on lots of your fights and now does some work with the Muay Thai Grand Prix as well. You know, loves you very much as well, and says, you know, that you're very accurate. And not only that, but you're, you know, great timing and great heart, you know, so I don't think that it is undervalued. I do think people are noticing it. Not just the strength.
That's
but
what we need.
Yeah.
It's like, but nothing's given to anyone. It is hard work. And that's why, you know, all these sacrifices do have to be made. You know, the wife understands that if I'm not accurate and I'm not sharp and I'm not doing the things that I need to be doing, I'm not in the gym, I'm not going to be where I want to be in the end of it all. You know, it's a journey.
So do you enjoy Muay Thai more than boxing? You know, or do you find them equally as enjoyable? You know, where do you find your passion?
I think you enjoy what you're good at. Yeah. You know, if you're good at something, like I hate maths, but I'm shit at maths. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
People that are good at maths like maths. I didn't mind boxing. I liked it because you're not really getting hurt. You're only getting punched. I know it sounds odd, but you're not getting kicked, kneed and elbowed. You know, it's the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to get punched. It's like the niceties of Muay Thai, if so to speak. So, yeah, I love Muay Thai. It's a big passion of mine. It's been, you know, it's in my makeup now. I've done Thai boxing longer than I haven't done Thai boxing for.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
But boxing, it's more of a different art. It's like, only because you're good at table tennis doesn't mean you're going to be good at, you know, badminton or whatever. It's totally different. It is, you know, and like you've got to really work at it, like anything in life, I guess. But I just didn't want to dedicate that time and effort to the boxing that I did in Thai.
Yeah. So do you feel that the couple of years that you went into that boxing world, do you think that hindered your performance as a Thai fighter, or do you think that it added to it when you came back, you know, that you had focused on your hands for those years? Do you think that that added, you know, to the overall package? Or do you think that time away was a detriment?
Yeah, I think it definitely added. It definitely helped. Although you are neglecting Thai scoring, kicks, you know, and the fundamentals and the stance and all that sort of stuff. But if you just work on your hands for 2.5 years, and then you mix it with the Thai, you're going to be better at your hands. If you just work on kicking for 2.5 years, you're going to be a really good kicker. Yeah. It's something that I reckon it helps. It allowed me to focus on a style, and that's what I brought back into the Thai boxing now.
And then, so when returning, you've had 5 fights since that, you know, coming back into it. You know, why don't you share with our listeners, you know, a little summary of that, you know, of those fights there, you know, like you did to me, and, you know, when you gave me a brief description. I think just be useful just to run that back, because you had a lot of success in that time, you know, starting with, when you start with Luca Falco. Yeah.
So just to start, in my career, I've had, you know, like you get some fighters like I don't know, like Joe Ryan, George Jones, Liam Nolan, Haggerty, all these people, like they're winning every time they fight. They get in the ring and they win, you know, like, and it's, you think, wow, these people are amazing. In my career, I was fighting, I'd have a loss, I'd have a draw, I'd have a couple of wins, and then have a loss, and then have a draw. And it was like, I'm going to be good, but I'm just not going to be that top level. And I wasn't really going to accept that, if I'm honest. Not now. I'm not. I truly believe I've done all my learning, and it's going to take someone very special to beat me on the night. Someone very special. So with that mindset, I come back to Thai. I fought Brian Totty, which was a 1-on-1, wasn't it? So I'd fought him about 10 years previously. He beat me. Then I fought him about 4 years after, beat him. 5 years later, we've got the third fight. It was a very one-sided onslaught, and Totty's very good, but I just was not going to be denied. So I fought Totty in the August, and then I fought Luca Falco in the October, the Italian who, he was on like a 20-fight win streak. And then since I fought Falco, he's had like 5 or 6 fights from that, and won them all, and won a WBC world title at the weight below. So, you know, he's a good standard fighter. Yeah. I beat him for the international WBC title. Yeah. And then that put me instead for a WBC world title with Adam Noy. Yeah. Yeah, in February, who's been to the IFMAs twice, won championship, signed, had a couple of fights and won, done very well. Trains with the Venom training camp in Thailand, met his Atut and all the French lads there, and all the Thais, all the top level lads. You know, he's got a very good, clean in the eyes style. He doesn't make many mistakes. He's very technical and difficult to beat. I beat him, you know. Yeah. So I beat him for the world title in February. And then it was, where's this one championship contract? Where's the call? There was a couple of conversations between people and one championship saying, we want to sign Nathan, but we would like him to be a world champion. So then I fought Adam Noy for the world title, won. Okay, we liked the fight. It was brilliant, but our criteria at the moment is knockouts. Really? Okay. So then I went to Thailand in April because there was no shows. They specified that, you know, regardless of the world championship, they were requiring knockouts in the manner that you win your fights. They were very specific on that. Yeah, that's what they wanted. Their criteria was knockout artist at that time. I mean, I think they changed. So like they might want people that throw heel kicks.
Okay.
You know, so but at that time it was people that knock people out.
Yeah.
And but my game plan coming back wasn't to knock people out. It was to get the wins, get the bout, outscore, outwork. It isn't to knock them out with one shot and hurt them or whatever. It was just get the job done and be safe, you know? So then in April, I went to Thailand, went to PK Sanchai, trained there for a month, asked to fight. They said, yeah, we can get you a fight. I said, can I have it in MMA gloves? Because I'm trying to work my way to get to one championship. They want knockouts. I would like MMA gloves. And I want to have a good fight against a good lad where, you know, they will see it and be impressed. They said, yeah, brilliant, we'll sort it out. Within 3 days, I was fighting.
Yeah.
I fought on Lumpini Stadium, Fairtex Fight Promotions. Fought a Thai in little gloves. Stopped him in the second round. Knocked him down in the first with a right hand. And then I stopped him with a body shot in the second. So now I'm thinking, right. And the performance was wild. It was crazy. There was, you know, a lot of blood. It was violent. It was what they were asking for. It was the stoppage that they wanted. So I'm thinking, right, that's me now. I'm getting this phone call. Mm-hmm. No phone call. I thought, oh, never mind. I'm not going to chase it. It'll come when it comes. Then I got asked to fight Nico Carrillo, which was the biggest domestic fight he is. Like, I know Liam Harrison fought Charlie Peters, which was a domestic fight, obviously, and he was signed to fight Greg Rutan, which was a big domestic fight as well. But this fight
would have been massive. Yeah, it would have been massive. Yeah,
the two people that genuinely do not like each other, and it isn't bravado. It isn't just for the cameras. If we see each other, we don't like each other. You know, it's not. Let's be friends behind the scenes. I think he's a prat. So that I was a part of that. Obviously, I had a grade 3 tear in my MCL, so I couldn't go ahead with the fight, and I was injured for 6 weeks before I actually pulled out. So I did everything I could to make it into the ring. Then, so that fight didn't happen. Then one championship, Muay Thai Grand Prix, called "Do You Want This Tournament?" Road to one. I thought, this is my path. This is the sign that I was meant to have. Because if I would have got signed after the Lumpini fight, after the knockout in the little gloves, torn my MCL, and not been able to show up for one championship, you know, it could have really gone against me. Yes. So this is meant to be my path to the global stage. And this is for me, So I said, yeah, I'll have that. Absolutely. Did lots of rehab on the knee, just, you know, being very careful. I was halfway through camp. I injured it twice through camp. I took a week off and no training whatsoever, rehabbing. You know, and usually I'm doing 10 weeks solid, hard graft grind. I'm not having a week. If I'm having a week off, I think, oh, God, I'm lazy. What's happening? He's training. I need to train. I just needed to be smart. And that I fought that Matthias on the 1st of October. Yeah. And it was scaring with hands, so we don't want to lift his legs and kick, so he doesn't score too much. If he does kick, you've got to hurt him after. And lift the legs, but don't throw that right kick, whatever you do. Be safe in there. And that was what happened.
So that went to a decision. Was that a lot closer than you thought the fight was going to be?
In all honesty, he was my 5th opponent for the night, for the show. So Muay Thai Grand Prix had Jack Kennedy, Shaq Davis, and an Italian, and then it was this Matthias guy. Sorry, then a Dagestani, then it was that Matthias guy. So, and all the other 4 weren't the same level as him. He's had 48 fights, 44 wins, fought in Thailand a lot, in little gloves, trains out of Fabio Pinca's gym. Yeah. And he's a sparring partner for Adam Noy, a guy that I've just fought who's legitimately world level. So in all honesty, I thought this is going to be a really hard night. Like, I can't kick. I've got to rough him up, and he's going to be a good, well-schooled lad. It's going to be a hard night. So it was a lot easier than I imagined it was going to be. I kind of built him up, I think. I kind of thought he's going to be very good. He's going to be brilliant. And he wasn't. He was very average, which then hindered my performance because I didn't really need to get out of second gear. I just wanted to be safe in there and not hurt my leg. If I would have started going for the stoppage and start trying to, swing combinations and get caught, it's about making it through, getting the win, not getting knocked out, So it was kind of a bit of a hindrance, to be honest. But yeah, it was a close fight on certain scoring. If you score Muay Thai as Muay Thai, yeah, it's a close fight. But how one championship score it, damage, aggression, footwork, ring presence, all that type of stuff, I win clear. I win every round. But the problem we've got is we've got UK judges that judge traditional Thai boxing doing, say there's 25 fights on the show, 20 fights on the show. They're judging 18 fights of pure Muay Thai, what they know, that they judge all year round, every weekend, and then they've got to switch to one championship rules. You can't blame them for having their own, normal opinion on how to score it. So you've just got to make sure you know how the judges are scoring it when you're in there.
So the other semi-final quarter-final that night, so George Muzakitis, who was just on the podcast, he came away with the victory. I know you like to watch footage. What did you make of that fight? And how does that make you feel? Leading up to the 12th of November when you meet George.
Before I watched the fight, so before George had that fight, I thought George is the final. George is he's got a win over Coakley. He's he's only had one loss to Liam McGrandles, who is legitimately world level. He's very good. I believe whoever wins out of me and George wins the tournament. So before I watched the fight, I thought, George will be a hard night. I'm going to have to be on my P's and Q's. I'm going to have to be a good Thai boxer and outscore him and, kick his body. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that with my knee, blah, blah, blah. I was a bit, I wouldn't say worried because fear isn't a factor, but I would say I was a bit apprehensive of how I was going to win and how I was going to approach it. But after watching the fight and this fight and then watching my last performances and how I've grown and my mindset and how it's actually coming to light of the one championship contract is at the end of this. I don't have any doubts whatsoever that I will win. I will beat George Muzakitis. I'm very confident of it. Although it's not going to be easy, just like none of the fights are easy.
Yeah.
They're all hard fights, but I am very capable of beating him.
Yeah. What did you think of that Sheffield venue?
Brilliant.
It was lovely,
nice.
Right? Yeah.
It was intimate. The decor was great. It was all blacked out with the lights and stuff.
The star effect on the side with the lights. Yeah.
Fantastic. Sometimes when the venues are massive, and there's like 1,000 people there, but it holds 4,000. The atmosphere isn't the same. It'd be nice to get 4,000 people in there, obviously, but for Thai boxing at the moment, it's not the biggest thing in the world, is it? So we don't really pack out venues like that. But I think there's the intimate, like I fought at a venue called Pussycats in Telford, which is probably the same size as my kitchen. It's ridiculous. You can barely fit the ring in it. But there was 400 people in there, which was probably max capacity. And I was fighting and I could see my mum this close to me. It was weird, but it was really encouraged and spurred us on. The intimacy of it is great.
Yeah. like stand up and I hear the comedians talking about, you can do like the Joe Rogan to like, thousands and thousands of people, but a lot of them prefer just being in an intimate room where you can get the feedback off, and the vibe, and exactly. It's that experience.
Yeah, it's good. It's great.
So I'm assuming, you watched Natty's fight and, and Craig, obviously Craig's win, those are the other two now semi-finalists. Well, what are your thoughts on their fight, and what are your predictions for when they meet?
Ooh, so Coakley was good. Coakley does what Coakley does best.
Right.
He's very constant, isn't he, Coakley? He just does not stop touching you. I don't think he particularly hits very hard, although he has stopped a lot of people. But I think whatever he throws is pointy, sharp, and a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I think because of his build, he's quite rangy and he's got them, long knees and stuff. I think Thai boxing is good for him. Or he's good at Thai boxing. He's made it work really well for him. So he looked really good against Kim. Natty was an absolute fireball, weren't he?
Yeah, that was a very devastating first round win, yeah.
Once he caught Ambro, he lost his mind, didn't he? He just went 100 miles an hour. Yeah. My thought is, though, is Natty a one? Can he sustain that? He'll probably do better at 3 rounds, but not. I don't think he could. No one could do that for 5 rounds. No one. Usain Bolt sprints for like 9.5 seconds. He's knackered after. Natty would have been tired after that, I would imagine. If he wouldn't have been, then
yeah,
he's obviously going to be a big problem. But if you can weather the storm with Natty, I think he'll tire. But you got to get out round 1. Fuck me.
How many rounds is the semi-final? Is it 3 as well?
Yeah.
And the final?
I don't know, but the ones in Lumpini, Fairtex Fight Promotions, were 5, so it could be 5 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Could be 5. If Coakley, I'm gonna say Natty beats Coakley. Although, if Natty doesn't stop Coakley in the first round, Coakley wins.
Mm-hmm.
If Coakley can impose his game straight away and be switched on and not get caught with anything wild, Coakley will win.
Right. So any message for George?
Not particularly. No, I like George. I think he's a cool guy. He's obviously on a mission. He wants to change his life, just like we all do. If he thinks he's the only one that wants it as much as he does, he's very mistaken. But he will train hard. He will be in shape. He will be a very, demanding fight. But I am going to win, and I don't say that out of malice or I'm going to knock him out and hurt him and I want to end his life or anything like that. But I'm going to beat George. I truly believe that. And it's going to be a good one. It's going to be one for the history books, I'm sure.
Yeah. And in preparation for that, people often ask, what's your game plan? So for you, what does game plan mean? Right. For some people, they'll just train and they'll say, I don't care who I fight. I'm just going to go in there and that's my game plan. I'm just going to go and react. Whereas some like to feel their fighters out in the first round. Some people have very specific plan of how they want to execute, right? What does game plan mean to you? And can you share some of, what your game plan for George is going to be?
I don't want to share my game plan.
Obviously, you don't want to give too much away, but yeah, if you can.
I'm going to throw spinning head kicks only and jumping scissor knees and see if I can knock him out. No, for game plan, it really is just...
Yeah, what does it mean for you? Yeah.
For me, it's doing everything that you've been doing in the gym, sticking to a game plan, sticking to the techniques that you've been doing. Because if you think we just hit pads and get fit and whack things and don't actually think about what we're doing, then you're all very mistaken. You know, it is an art at the end of the day. We're setting traps. We're defending certain shots that they will throw. We are sticking to a plan. Now, if I go in there and just swing for the fences and I'm not doing everything that I've practiced, what's the point in a game plan? A game plan is something to have a bit of a guideline for, but, you know, you need to be able to have a plan A, plan B, plan C as well. Just like George said, you need to be able to change it. You know, if he does this, I'm going to do that. And if I'm doing this and it's working well, I'm going to set this up or that up, you know? So game planning is just basically what you've been drilling in the gym and try and stick to it. And if it doesn't work, you need to have a plan B, you know? Yeah.
So
a game plan for George is it's basically, I'm not going to be able to right kick, I don't think. I haven't, so I've got to change the range. What am I going to do? Am I going to go all the way in and box an elbow and clinch and try and throw him about and ragdoll him and be strong there? Or am I going to try and make him miss and, you know, and counter with hands and try and get the knockout or whatever? But it might be a bit of both. It might be a bit of both. I might have to do one for 20 seconds, another one for 5 seconds and go again for a minute. You know, it might be a bit of both, but I'm coming for every fight that I have now. I'm coming for knockouts. And I don't mean that as in malice. It's let's get this fight over and done with. Let's finish this. When I fought Brian Totty on the last time, I was having so much fun in there. I didn't want to stop him. And like everyone was saying after, you could have stopped him. You should have stopped him. He didn't do anything to you. But if I stop him, then I've got to get out the ring. I'm performing here. I've done 12 weeks of hard training. Let me perform.
This is the fun bit, yeah.
Let me enjoy this moment, you know? Mm-hmm. But I'm in there, handle business, get out, on to the next one for this tournament.
Yep. So we're super excited. So that's November 12th at the O2 Indigo. You're going to be facing George Muzakitis. It's the semi-final for this potential six-figure contract with one championship for the winner. So a couple more questions before I let you go.
Yeah.
What is a fighter to you?
Someone that can overcome. So if you're in there and you're fighting, there's no fight if there's no, you know, resistance. If you're in there and you're just beating people up and you're kicking or whatever and you're winning and it's easy, you're fighting bums, you know, or even if you're fighting good lads, but it's really easy, you know, you're just outskilling them. That's obviously great, but to be a fighter, you have to overcome some sort of resistance, you know, you have to fight through. And we do that every day. All of us do in fight camp. The days you don't want to go to the gym, you go. The days it's pissing down with rain in November and you've got to make weight, you do it. You know, it's overcoming the struggles. And it doesn't have to be in the ring, does it? It's in life in general. You know, if you're overcoming things, you are a fighter.
Yeah, and so we'll end on this one, Nathan. What matters most? That
I make it worth it. It's worth it for the people that sacrifice, because it isn't just me. It's my coaches, my training partners, my wife, my family, my daughters. You know, people travel to come and see me fight. They spend a lot of money on tickets, hotels. You know, they miss out on time with their family. You know, like, everyone sacrifices so much for me. It's important that I perform for them and obviously for myself. But I want to make, you know, my daughters proud, you know, my wife happy that, you know, it's all done and finished and he got the win and he's not hurt and we can, you know, enjoy each other's company as well. He's not down in the dumps because he didn't get the W or whatever it is. I want to make it worth it, because this has been, you know, like 20 years almost of hard work. So if you're going to do it, you're going to have to do it to your fullest, make it worth it.
Yeah, and getting those rom-coms with the missus after as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll be there ringside on the 12th, and would love to get an interview following the fight. So I wish you all the best in your.
I said I look forward to the winner's interview after. Yeah,
indeed, and all the best with the preparation, and the training and the weight. I know that's always a challenge, but all the best with that, and I'll speak to you on the 12th.
Thank you very much, Will. I really appreciate your time as well, yeah?
No worries, mate.
Catch
all right. Beautiful. Thank you so much for doing that.
No
We're going to get that out.
That was all right, wasn't it? We don't. Yeah. One take Bendon to call me.
Yeah. You're like what the interview was like to have. There's some people that give one-word answers, and you can have like 10 questions, and then like they blow through those 10 questions in a couple of minutes, without really giving it any thought or any depth.
Yeah. But then you get some people that waffle on as well. It's hard not to waffle on because I get passionate about it. So try not to waffle on too much.
Yeah, that's fine. That's why I'm here. If it waffles too much, then I can, redirect with the question. So no, you did a great job. Who do
you think wins out of Natty and Coakley?
To be honest, I don't know enough about Natty. I mean, he got an impressive win, right? Because Amro's a really good mate of mine. So that was a tough one for me personally. But I think Coakley will get it. I really enjoy watching Coakley fight as well.
Yeah, he's good, isn't he?
I love his use of elbows as well. I'm a big fan of elbows.
You like the dirty shit, yeah? You like the big stuff.
Yeah, I do like it because I've been at so many Muay Thai Grand Prix, ringside and watching these fights, and I never really. And when I see people execute, all of the limbs efficiently and well, the knees and the elbows, as well as the punching and stuff, and I just I like his style. So I think out of Natty and him, I think he takes it.
Yeah. Who do you think wins the tournament? If I wasn't in it, obviously.
I don't know. Ask me after I think then we can have a whole conversation about, who's gonna, whether you or someone else in the.
I beat them all though. Like, I genuinely believe that. Like, I do.
But with the injury to the right leg and that, that seems like you're. That's a massive disadvantage, right? You seem really confident I don't even know if you wanted to share that, openly that, that you're still having that injury on your right knee. But do you still feel as confident, knowing that one of your weapons is,
You know what it is now? Now we're off the record.
Yeah.
I can right kick. So
okay.
There's certain things I can't do between me and you, obviously. Sure. If someone catches my leg and I'm twisting, that isn't going to be good. But I can at least whack it. I can kick a leg now, and I can, as long as I punch before I kick, he won't catch. He'll have to defend the hands, and then I can kick his arm.
Okay, so you're more worried about the catch and then the wobble in between and the
it's if my knee does, if my knee flexes, if it straights out, if my knee goes like this, it's all right. But it's if that motion goes.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think George is going to come and kick well, be forward, try and manhandle me. I'm gonna elbow his head off. So you'll see some nice elbows, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I think personally, just like even though he beat Craig the last time, he didn't. Yeah, I watched that back, and I think that was a tough one for Craig to swallow, because I think Craig fought really well. And
yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but we'll see, won't we?
Yeah, everyone changes, everyone involves. No one's.
And then 4-ounce gloves.
Yeah.
That's the game change on it.
Yeah, it is. As Amro can attest to, no experience with the 4-ounce gloves and going in there. And he was telling me that with the first shot that he got, he was seeing stars.
Did you expect Amro to win the tournament, in honesty?
I don't know about winning the tournament, but because I'm his mindfulness coach. I teach him meditation. Right. And I know that he was I think he was too confident, too over cocky. And I guess some fighters need that, right? You do need to have that insane self-belief, which he had, but maybe it's just lack of experience. I don't think he has the experience.
If you're at world level, you can be confident. You should be confident because you've got the resume to back it up. All you're doing is looking at your previous experience or your previous fights or whatever it is, and you get gaining them confidence and your sparring and your work ethic in the gym and blah blah blah. But Amro was good. Amro was very good, but he's not world level. I don't think. I think he could be. But again, it's experience.
I don't think he has the experience.
Yeah.
To it was a bit of a reality check for him as well. It's to lose is one thing, but to lose like that in the first round, especially in this big tournament,
it's a bit of a highlight reel, wasn't it? It was a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
But you know what it is as well. Like everyone that I speak to that are having their first sort of fight. So first sort of fight, couple of fights, they're like, I just don't want to go in there and get absolutely slaughtered. I just don't want to go in there and get battered.
Yeah.
But some people cares either.
No, but I think a lot of the fighters, because I speak to a lot of them on the mental side of it, and they would rather they don't even worry about getting hit and kicked in the face. They worry about letting down their coach or losing in the first round or looking, working those 10 weeks in the fight camp only to, not to show anyone what they've been working on, right? To not let anyone see the cardio that they've been working on or the combos or the techniques and stuff. And just to lose so dramatically the way that Amro did and not to get to show anyone what he's been working on.
What he's been working on. But for the outsiders, they don't think, we're people have been circulating now, fucking hell. Natty Dodds did a right number on him. But they don't go, Amro was shit. They go, Natty Dodds was great. That's all that they don't say, Amro looked terrible. It was Natty looked wild.
Yeah.
It's not, no one really cares if you've had a bad performance. Only you care.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even that he had a bad performance. He just couldn't start going, could he? He just got blown out. But, on to the next one for him. Is he fighting on the 12th? No, because he took a couple of weeks off. He literally went missing. He flew back to Italy. Yeah, he was devastated. Yeah.
So
it's a shame for him.
But it's a learning lesson, right? If you're going to go through the sport, for you to think that you're going to go through it without having losses and some bad ones, then, you're mistaken. But like you said, it's a sport where you can lose and keep going. It's not like you have to have this unbeaten record. It's a sport where,
If you look at Coakley, what was it? 5 losses on the bounce or something. And then he fought Panicos and undone them all because he just absolutely wiped him out.
Yeah.
And then he stopped him. He bullied him really. Mm-hmm. And he was coming off 5 losses.
Yeah.
He had 1 good win. That's it. Is the best thing in the world again. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. And you win you're as good as your last fight, right? So if you
Exactly. Yeah. All right,
mate. I've really enjoyed in preparation for this, watching your fights. I think personally, if I had a bit of money, I think for to go all the way, it'd probably be on you. And then
me too, if I had some money.
If I had some money. And I'm just super excited. So again, all the best. Hopefully, you come in there fighting fit on the 12th, and we'll do the winners interview.
Yeah, man, I look forward to it. Yeah.